Hello, everyone, and welcome to another award-winning version of Bearcat Sports Update with baseball coach Kermit Smith. I'm Ralph Patterson. And now, can I kind of recap in a way for us? First of all, you were 29 and 24 overall. You got to like that. You had double-digit victories in the Peach Belt Conference. That hasn't happened in 5 years. You made the Peach Belt Conference tournament. First time Lander's been in there in 12 or 13 years, and knowing most coaches, you're going to find something wrong with that. I think that's pretty good stuff.
Well, I think at some point you have to sit back and, reflect on, the strides that you're making. I think, whenever you're in this business, you want it to happen overnight, and at some point in time in the maturity process, you have to understand that it's probably not going to happen overnight. But I think that those are strides that we had to make, ever so small. It's in terms of where we've been and what we've not been able to do in the last couple of years, and then able to do it this year. I think it says a lot. I think when you look at if you added up all our little updates here over the last few weeks, and you look at kind of the timeline on everything, we brought in 22 new players, had 22 returning players. So with that, it leads to great optimism, and it also leads to a chance for a lot of problems. And I think to maybe sit here and to have done some of the things that you're talking about, even though our goals are much larger than that, then I think you have to say that, we are making strides.
Okay, you're 2 years in the Peach Belt Conference and making strides, and you want to be a contender for Peach Belt championships, but I think if you're a perennial contender in the Peach Belt, that also makes you a national contender in Division II. So how are you going to do all that?
Well, I think that, you read up on I do a lot of reading on successful, coaches, being that that's the profession that we're in. And I think one of the common themes, there's a few common themes between a lot of great coaches, and one of them is keep the main thing the main thing. I think when you really look in depth with that, I think it goes into your philosophy. What is the main thing that you need to keep the main thing? The way we play the game of baseball is what we need to continue to strive on. We've got a specific way in which we coach it. We've got a specific way that we want it to look on the field. We need to continue to recruit towards those type of players that are going to make us better. We need to be better defensively in the middle of the field. I thought we did a very good job throwing out base runners this year. I thought our catching position was very good this year. I think we really need to eliminate the amount of balls that are getting to the outfield from a ground balls perspective. I feel like we can cover a little bit more ground in the gaps in the outfield. And I think you do that a lot of different ways. Normally when I say we need to improve defensively in the middle of the field, I'm not specifically talking about those actual players. We need to be better in the corner outfield spots to be able to cover that ground. And I think you walk out and you watch any great baseball team play, you're going to see a limited number of ground balls that get to an outfield. You're going to see a limited number of balls that are hit in the air in the outfield actually find the ground. And I think that's just real. I think that's real commonplace, but we need to continue to strive for that, keeping in mind the type of athleticism that we need, a guy that's going to be able to hit, a guy that's going to be able to implement our offensive philosophies too. I think one of the things that we really struggled with throughout the year was being able to make that midseason adjustment offensively. And I really never thought that we really caught stride offensively. I think we hit around 265 as a team, which, in this league you need to do better than that. Even if you are a pitching and defense team, which I thought we pitched it okay, thought we played defense okay at times. But you've got to be able to hit it a little bit better in the 265 clip. And we really struggled making that midseason adjustment. So I think, in terms of, it's not just about recruiting, it's not just about development, but I think it's kind of a mixture to recruit the guys that do some of the things that we weren't very good at, and continue to develop the guys that we have in-house to become better at the things that we weren't good at.
You talked about the main thing on the field, the way you like to do things, and that's impressive, but there are two other main things, and the first main thing is recruiting. Right. You got to have players to win in this league. You had great success so far recruiting while you've been at Lander.
Right. Well, I think every time we have one of our updates here, we add another recruit. So we're 7 for 7 right now. I think we've got 2 or 3 guys that we're far enough along with that I think we could say that we're pretty close to getting. And that's just that's going to really be the end of our recruiting for the year. It's not going to be another huge recruiting year. We'll probably end up with less than 10 players on the recruiting class. We're right there at that number. We love where we're at so far. Kind of back to the style of play is, we're recruiting some guys in the middle of the field, and that's I think it's really going to help us not only from a depth standpoint, but also from just continuing to upgrade our talent level in the program. So, we're excited. We're excited of the guys that we have. When a year after you bring in 22, it's so much better because you're looking at a guy. You're looking at a specific guy for a specific need, and that really limits it. It really puts a lot of emphasis on the fact that you got to get out and see these guys play. You got to talk to their high school coaches. You got to find out about character and work ethic and guys that are really going to fit into not necessarily just the style of play that you have, but as we've talked about in depth before, the style of program that we run. Guys that are going to care about what they do in the classroom. Guys that are going to care about what they do in the cafeteria. Guys that are going to care about what they do in the weight room, and really give us their best effort daily.
Okay, so there's one more main thing. First main thing, the way you play. Second main thing, the way you recruit and who you recruit. Third main thing is where you play. And you're getting ready to go to the Dolney Stadium at the Jeff May Complex. It's going to be a phenomenal place for Bearcat baseball.
I can remember me and Coach May's very first conversation ever, and he would started talking about it. And I'm sure he was smiling big on one end of the phone, and I was smiling real big at the other end of the phone. And it's a humbling thing. I never really thought that I'd ever get a chance to coach in a place like this, and that's it's a beautiful stadium. Daily you walk out there and you'll see some new sod laid, or you'll see a new fence up, or you'll see some paint thrown somewhere, or some sidewalks poured here, or some shrubbery here, and it gets better every day. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You've seen it, and it's just when that thing's complete, I mean, it's going to be a real special venue.
Now, have you snuck out there yet and just gone yard one time, taken one over the Blue Monster?
I don't think I can. Back to the main thing, I'm trying to recruit guys.
That's right.
So,
thank you for joining us for another Bearcat Sports Update. For Coach Kermit Smith, I'm Ralph Patterson. Our time is up. Thank you for yours. See you next season.